Hey, Mike with Nerd Problems Gaming here, the channel where we go through the good and bad of everything nerdy to make sure you spend your time on the best of the best. In today's video, I'll be doing a review of Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle Defense Against the Dark Arts. So let's get into it. So this game is actually a standalone game and it comes in a series of Harry Potter deck builder games. So the first game was actually the original Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, and then this one follows in its footsteps. So the first Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle is basically a cooperative deck building game where you and up to 4 players join forces to fight the villains throughout the Harry Potter series, and you basically go from year to year, starting with some basic spells and abilities and items and building up your deck as you go along year to year. Now what's different about this game, the Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle game, is it's actually a competitive deck building game. So it's you versus another player. So it's kind of like that scene in the movie where they're dueling each other, right? Harry and Draco going head to head on the big dueling platform, right? And so that's kind of what this game tries to mimic, but in a deck builder fashion. So let's jump into how to play the game so you can see a bit more on that, and then we'll follow up with the review after that. Alright guys, so let's dive in and show you how to play. Alright, so really the first thing that you want to do is decide what house you're going to be, whether it's Slytherin, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, or Hufflepuff. Now, depending on which one you choose, you're going to get an additional benefit when those specific cards come up. So I'm a Ravenclaw, so I'm definitely going to choose that for mine. And then again, your opponent will choose a house, so we can do Slytherin here. So when you're setting up the game, you're going to put all the books right here in the library. You're going to have your starting cards. So you're going to choose between one of the various animals on your team. So it could be the owl, the toad, or the cat for starting off. And each one, again, has kind of their own unique ability. So that's pretty cool. It's different every time, and it can affect your game and how you play. So you pick one of those, and then you're going to choose your other starter cards as you go through. So you start off with Alohomora, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those, a cauldron, and a wand, and then again, your animal of choice is really your starter deck. So you do the same thing, one animal, 1, 2, the item, 3, 4, the wand, 5, 6, 7, and this is going to be the other player's starter deck. You're going to have a deck of hexes. And these are kind of negative cards that you can put on people. So you'll simply put them here. You've got the different lightning bolts, the money, and the heart symbols. This kind of just tracks items that you have throughout the game. You've also got these skull pieces. You use these to track wins and losses. Then you've got these standees, depending on what house you chose. So Ravenclaw will just go on the start there. You've got Slytherin, so I'll just swap that out. Put that on the start there as well. Now the next step that you're going to do is you'll just take all the rest of the cards, shuffle them up, and this is going to form the classroom. And so you just simply flip up 4 cards in the classroom here, and these are going to be the cards that you can buy throughout the game to enhance your deck from the initial starting deck. So each player will shuffle their decks. You can decide who's going to go first. Each player will draw 5 cards, and then this now becomes their hand. And so as you play the various cards, you'll simply just read what they do. So for example, Alohomora will give you 1 gold each, so that would be 4 gold in this case. Now I've got a cauldron, so I could do gain a gold, gain a heart. I've got full life, so I'm not going to do that, so I'll gain another gold. So I've got 5 gold. And so now I can choose from the cards up here to buy to enhance my deck further. So let's say I do a book and then this card here, they'll go in my discard pile for my future hand. We'll flip up one of these, and then my turn is going to be over. I spent that gold. These hands go into my discard, and I'll draw the next 5 cards, and then it'll be my opponent's turn. They'll draw their 5 cards, and the same process will go through. Now, once both players continue to play, they'll get lightning bolts to be able to damage each other, move them back and forth, and basically the round ends when the first person reaches this stun space, and then it'll move to the next round. Players will keep their cards, reshuffle everything, and start over, and then play through at full life again, re-going through the duel, but now with their more enhanced decks as they play. So you're going to get, again, various items from the books and the movies as you play. You'll find different allies that you can add to your team to enhance your abilities. And when you get allies from various different houses, you can actually play them. And then now when you get cards of that house, so if I had Draco, for example, and I had this Imperial card, I would now get the additional bonus effect listed at the bottom. So there's definitely more intricacies on the rules as you go through and play, and those are just all listed in the rule book, but this will just give you a general idea on how to play and how the framework works playing this game. But it's a ton of fun as you go back and forth trying to win the duel. So as you saw, as you're going through the playthrough of this game, you play basically as a random wizard from one of the houses, and each one has its own kind of unique trait where there's different cards that you're going to build your deck in, and if it happens to be from that house, you get those extra bonuses. But then again, as you build up those allies, you get to add them to your deck and then get those bonuses as well. So it creates a pretty cool dynamic where it's really different every single time that you play, even if you happen to be the same house. Now, I always tend to pick Ravenclaw. That's kind of my house, so that's where I fall into it. But again, you can choose whatever house you want based on the cards and play style that you like as you go through and play the game. But again, one's not really necessarily better than another or worse than another, because you can always buy those allies as you play and then get those future benefits as well. And I like too that it's a best of 3 battles as you play. You know, when I was going through a lot playing with my girlfriend, a lot of times, you know, it'd be down a ton, right? Maybe she won 2 in a row, but then there's been multiple times where I've come back, won 3 in a row, and then same thing for her. And so it's pretty cool. It really keeps you on your toes depending on what strategy you decide to go with in this game. And I think that really enhances the replay value as well, where it might seem like you're overpowered and all is lost, but then you can come back and win a bunch of games in a row. And so I think that really adds to the fun of the game, that it can really swing as you continue to build your deck more and more powerful throughout each round. Another thing I really like about the game is that it has all these different items and spells from the books, from the movies. You know, they've got all kinds of different screenshots from the various parts of the movies in this game as well, which I really like. So it's cool being able to build up a deck full of these items. And one thing that I like too that's a little bit different, you know, from this game is that you're able to build up a lot more allies and even get some people that were technically villains in the original game. And so having that new twist on it where you can get more teachers and more helpful friends throughout the game as well makes it a lot of fun. I think this game also can be a little bit quicker. You know, typically you play the best of 3 rounds. So if you're going head to head, sometimes it can take, you know, almost to that final game. So that does take a while, but compared to the original game, the Hogwarts battle game, it can take a little bit less time compared to going through kind of the different campaigns. And I think it just really depends on your mood. You know, sometimes I'm into playing a cooperative version of this, of the original Hogwarts battle, but then this version, the Defense Against the Dark Arts, is going to be a competitive version versus you and another player. So that's a lot of fun too. Another thing I really like about this game is that there's just so many different ways that you can win, so many different strategies. So you might try and build a strategy where you're getting every single ally. Other times you're getting a bunch of items. Other times you're really just focused on, you know, restoring your health and getting items to do that. Other times you're focusing on getting a lot of lightning bolts where you can damage your opponent very quickly and defeat them. So it just really is cool where you can have so many strategies and then also kind of counter strategies depending on what your other player is doing as you're going against them in the deck that they're building. Another thing that's cool with this is that it covers basically all the books and all the spells and items in the movies and the books in one game. So unlike the first game where you're kind of going from year to year and steadily building up your items from each different year of school, this one kind of has them all in one, which is nice. So I think if you're a big fan of the movies, if you're a big fan of the books, you'll definitely enjoy this game, especially if you like deck builder games. It's one of my favorite deck building games out there, and I highly recommend picking up Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle Defense Against the Dark Arts. So if you'd like to pick up a copy, there'll be links in the description below where you can get a copy of this game. But let me know if you've played this game, if there's other Harry Potter games I should check out, if there's other deck builders I should check out. I definitely love hearing about new games to play on the channel. And if you like this video, be sure to smash that like button. And if you haven't done so, be sure to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications to get the latest updates of new videos we put out on everything nerdy. And if you'd like to help us support the channel, pick out content and more, consider becoming a patron of ours over at nerdproblemsgaming.com/Patreon. And if you'd like to plug into our live streams and Let's Plays we do on the channel, you can follow us on Twitch over at nerdproblemsgaming.com/Twitch. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.